Hello all, I'm SupremeKotor and welcome to episode 7 of How the Pros Play. Today we're going to talk about Lucio. Lucio is one of my favorite heroes to cover because you can end up carrying pretty much any team comp, any game, or you can spend the whole time redditing and end up throwing pretty much any team comp, any game. Lucio has so many different styles of play and they can all be viable in different situations. I really do want you guys to be good at Lucio and to climb both on your teams and in your ranked games. So let's jump right into how the pros play Lucio. The first thing that good Lucios need to master is their positioning. As besides from DPS, Lucio probably has the most important positioning of any hero in the game. It really makes the difference between a great Lucio and a terrible Lucio. My first rule of Lucio positioning is always know where your main tank and your main support is. You're going to need to constantly peel for them, constantly move yourself around the map to help them, and maybe even finish kills for them. If at any point you have lost track of your main support or main tank, you are not playing Lucio properly. The NYXL have a great example right here. They're rotating all around the point to set up a crossfire on their enemies, but Animo knows exactly where J. Jonak is and is able to jump and assist him, saving him from the brig that otherwise would have killed him and probably lost NYXL the fight. This is a perfect example of why Lucio is so powerful. One of the other most important pieces of Lucio positioning has to do with his ultimate. Here you can see the Titans know that they're going to get EMP'd, and so they actually group up on point and have their Lucio hide behind a corner off point. As soon as EMP goes off, Lucio has already started his animation and is landing his beat right away, saving his team from the entire EMP. This will be great because your enemies will usually overcommit to an EMP, and suddenly everyone on your team will have an insanely high health bar, and it's almost a free fight win. If a Lucio ever gets EMP'd, it really is his fault for not tracking that ultimate and not being in position for that ultimate. Sometimes teams will try to hide, but it doesn't always work. The Shock have a great example right here. They're grouped up, waiting to get EMP'd, they're hiding for the EMP, but we get just a little bit too greedy, a little bit too close. On the note of positioning, it is true that sometimes it's very good to Reddit. Here's a prime example where Moth almost carries the entire team fight by spending the time away from his team. I'm not telling you to never Reddit, never go for the kill. Depending on the situation, Lucio can hard counter almost anybody. If he jumps on top of a Widow, it's often a very easy kill for a mechanically skilled Lucio. That can be great and allow your team to win pretty much any fight. But in a team setting, make sure that you're never losing track of your main tank and your main support, and you're really balancing that DPS ability you have with that support and peeling ability that you have. Once you've mastered the positioning of Lucio, you need to move on to the speed versus heals argument. It's a question that I get asked all the time. Honestly, here's the answer. You should be on speed 70% or more of the time. Lower elos tend to think that they should be on heals all the time because they are a support, and I wish that was true, but it's really not. The more you're on speed, the more freedom your team is going to have to move around, and they're actually going to dodge more damage than you would heal anyway. The Titans show us this right here. Bumper is extremely low health. He's going down on the Winston and he's in a very dangerous position. So Slime is faced with a choice. He either heals him or speeds him. He knows that if he heals him, it's not really going to make a difference. Lucio's heals per second are way too low to make a difference here. Instead, he's going to stay on speed the whole time, allowing Bumper to kite some of this damage until he can get his jump up and just jump out of this dangerous situation. And that goes about the same in pretty much all comps. Especially in GOATs, Lucio should rarely be leaving speed. To leave speed means that there is something you need to heal. For example, you've passed one of the damage breakpoints. You don't want to only be within one swing of death because Ryan could easily get a swing on you. The final aspects of Lucio's kit are simple. Amp It Up should be used with a purpose at all times. For example, if your team needs to cross a choke quickly, or if you need to engage on your enemies, or if you need to heal up before the next major fight. If you're using Amp It Up without a purpose, you're not using it correctly. As long as it has a purpose, it can be pretty hard to completely misuse it. Sound Wave is just as simple, but it's so situational. The moral of the story is you want to use it to displace your enemies into spots that they don't want to be. This can be booping the enemy Rhine into your team's goats. This can be booping the enemies from behind their cover into your Diva Bomb. This can be booping an Ana off the map. There's so many different ways to use this, but the moral of it all is that it is for displacement of your enemies. Unfortunately, that is all the time I have today. If you learned something, please subscribe, as there is going to be another video in this exact same format next week.